Hi guys, this is Michael from the Boardgames Chronicle. Today I have a pleasure of presenting to you guys The Other Side of a Hill, a game designed by Carlos Marquez and published by NAC Wargames. Today I will present to you the final version of this game because, as you might probably know, I had the pleasure to do a preview of this game like a year or 15 months ago when I was looking at the concept and the components and so on and so forth. Now we have a final product, final production, final components, which will be presented here. I will definitely create more content about this game, a bit about the rules, example of plays, now with the final rules and final version of the game. Quick introduction. What's this game about before we jump into the actual components? This is a game about the Second World War and about the German High Command, about cooperation and competition within this High Command. In this game, you will be leading some of the factions within the High Command of Nazi Germany. You will be cooperating, especially in the first years of the war between 1939 and 1942. Then you will start also to secretly compete, because this game does not allow or does not actually predict that the Axis can win. They will lose. They will always lose. The question is how long they will hold, and the question is who will be best off during this collapse. So as I said, during the first part of the game, you cooperate, you have your roles as a high command, as a production, as I don't know, propaganda officer and so on. In the second part, you are taking on the secret roles also. And at the end of the game, you will see who has the most points. Okay, let me just take something to open the cards and I will start looking inside. So this is a very sturdy, heavy, nicely produced box. You can see the factions here, for example, the 4 factions which I was mentioning, like fanatics, dissidents, old guard, and professionals, which step into the game in the second part. This is a 4th complexity game, and I believe this is correct. When I was playing the initial version, it has a decent amount of rules. It will have a lot of scenarios. You can play the whole game. It's called Armageddon from 1939 to 1945, or you can play the smaller chunks. Okay, let me open it now. As I told you, it's pretty heavy and it's fully packed with various goodies. We will be going through them now step by step. First of all, where should we start? Maybe we will start with the markers. With those markers, or you know what, guys? I will do it the other way around. I will take those goodies here and I will start with the rule book to show you some game concepts also in the meantime. Here we have a baggies, so we can sort them out. Here we have a proof of a purchase with signatures from the Carlos Marquez. Here this is a Kickstarter special, so you are getting a tray to throw a die. Let us try. This is nice and cool addition. So I believe you do it that way. Wow, that's a pleasant surprise. Okay, and you can throw a die here. Okay, nice. Yeah, here we have additional cards. And here we have a medal. There was a lot of discussion about this medal on the social media. So let us have a look immediately at this. This is, I believe, the Iron Claws medal. NAC Wargames 2024. Yeah, so this is evidently some kind of a Kickstarter extras, yeah, which was added to the game. Okay, so let me start with this and then we look at those components. The game comes with 3 books, just like in the preview version. We have also 3 books here. We have the rule book for the competitive play. We have a rule book for the solitaire and cooperative play. And we have a playbook, which explains the rules and which also shows example of play. So let's have a look at one of the of the rule books, competitive play. First of all, you have table of contest, and then you have also the upgrades or the promos and extras which were achieved thanks to the Kickstarter campaign. So in comparison to the version of the game which I had over a year ago, there's a huge improvement in quality of components, and there are some additional cards, generals, dice tray, and so on and so forth. Then we have the explanation of all the markers with all the symbols. This is very helpful because there will be a lot of markers. You have also the dices here described, as well as the board. Board, as you can see in a moment, will be consisting of various areas, each having some sub-areas. Yeah, and those sectors will be of different, type. It can be Festung, so that means kind of a stronghold. It can be a landing theater. It can be, forest. It can be hard terrain, so on and so forth. Then we start to discuss the glossary, how the general course of play looks like. I like it because this is just like simplification of what will be going on. The description of cards, you will be running some of the generals in this game. How you manage armies, how the control of the areas is marked. It will be marked with those wooden pieces. Yeah. So there will be black for Germany and I believe the blue ones for allies. Every yellow section is kind of example of play, and there is a lot of examples of play. Now we go through the segments like production directive segment, political directive segment. This is what will be going on. Military directive segment, strategic warfare segment. This is also nicely put on the map. You will see it later on. Movement and command, of course. Axis offensive segment, but we'll have also allied Western offensive segment, exactly. Western offensive and Soviet offensive segment, and the end segment. So it's pretty procedural and easy to grasp. New Year phase, and yeah, combat resolution. There is a separate section for this. You use cards to see the results, but also the dice. Okay, we'll not be going through this. Advance and retreat, amphibious combat. Okay, US activation, France and follow France. And that's all. So there is like 34 pages of the rulebook. So as I told you, this is medium to complex game. It's not definitely an introductory game. And this is the end of the rulebook. What I like about the solitaire and cooperative rulebook is that this is, first of all, a separate rulebook, and I see this trend more and more in the war games. But if you have a couple of modes, you will have separate rulebooks. It's easier to read than simply, just add some sections. And in this rulebook, a lot of things are repeated. For example, the first page, but then you have a special text. Shadowed in green is for the solitaire mode, and shadowed in gray is for the cooperative. So you have to some extent a repetition and expansion of the rulebook with focus on cooperative and solitaire games. So we will not be going through all of this. There are slight changes to the game, but I really like the approach how it was done, yeah, with those two rulebooks. Again, 34 pages. Then we have playbook. And the playbook, as I told you, will explain the scenarios, rules, how to read them, how to set up them, and then we have a description of actual scenarios here, a lot of them, and of course some variants, how you can modify the game. The stipulation of the easily forgotten rules, always good as a reminder. And then most important, extended example of play. I went actually through this in one of my videos when I was using, the preview copy. I will probably do similar for the final copy. There are some tweaks, changes to some of the components, to some of the statistics and values, so we'll have to do it. And then designer notes, something which I believe you should read to understand this game better. I also have two, I believe, good articles on my blog. One, Folko Runke's thoughts about this game, and the other is the interview with the designer. So you can get a more background behind this game, which is, let's be honest, not a standard one. It's like, my feeling with this game is like understanding how the mob is working, because let's be honest, you are working inside the Nazi Germany war machine. You are working within the high command, and you see at the cooperation and competition between people in this high command. So that's kind of an analysis of wrongdoers and how they behaved and how they changed to behave once the things were not so green after the first 3 years of the war. What do we have else? Here we have okay, additional stuff. Nice. Player aids. There are 4 of them because there could be 4 players. Admin phase, operation phase, New Year phase, combat resolution description. Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. This helps you set up the scenarios. I really like it because you have turn track, you have all those main, let's say, markers which show the state of economy and the state on the map, simply showing you where you are. And influence markers also per 4, the 4 let's say secret factions. They start at 0 and then they grow and grow. Depending on the year, and from 1940, it's interesting that their influence grows up to 1942, but nobody is actually assigned to those secret, let's say, factions. And this is only in competitive scenario, yeah. And then you sum up your visible points with your, hidden points at the end of the game, and you see the result. Then we have counters. Oh, a lot of them. Let me get it out. So what do we have here? First of all, we have generals, and their color shows their alignment to the particular faction, like fanatics or like, old guard or professionals. There is a black, white, red here. And I believe this might be dissident here with a yellow. Okay. Then we have some additional markers here. Okay. These are the markers which shows who takes care of a particular area, like head of operations, OKW, head of personnel, head of production. There are 4 roles and there will be 4 players, taking care of them. This is satellite armies. Okay, panzers. Then we have player mates. There are 4 of them, as you can see, in 4 player colors. And they are double-sided. Section of a hide command, available generals, activated generals, in command generals, black orchestra, so working against Hitler. and you have a space for general markers too. And here you will have your agenda card. Yeah. Agenda means which one of the 4 factions you will be aligned with. Before we jump to the map, let's have a look at the components. So now it's easier for me now to explain the components when you know a little more about the game. These are the markers which we'll put on the map in order to present who controls particular areas. So as you can see, the German ones, the Soviet ones, and the Western Allies ones. We'll be putting them on the sectors in the areas and reflecting the who is now controlling it. Now we have dice. Oh, we have a lot of them. We have white, gray, yellow, black, blue, red. And as you have seen in the rule book, they have various, hits values. So I believe the white was pretty poor, gray a bit better, yellow also poor. Yeah, the black was very good, and they have their own. Yeah, so this way we can put it here. Okay, additional markers. Oh, I like them. I don't remember at this moment in time what they were marking, but they are from the nice wood. Very nice feeling in hand, yeah, definitely. These are the actual armies we'll be playing with, representing Panzer armies are black, the satellite armies are yellow, you have also gray and white ones. Then we have black orchestra cards. Those are connected with how to say, conspiracy against Hitler. You have, for example, von Stauffenberg and some other guys. During special phase of a game, you will start using them. Now, what else do we have? We have political directions, we have productive directions, sorry for this, and we have generals. So let me have a look at generals, because this is something you will be playing a lot with. You have, of course, counters of generals to put them on the map, but you have special description of generals here. This is the card of a general, which shows you when it's activated. It shows its rank in special abilities in the combat, and additional special things. Also with which faction or agenda he's aligned with. You can see them. This means professional, this means fanatic, this means old guard. So as you can see, these are 1939 generals. Yeah. Those. And then next year you have additional ones who are coming. Hans Guderian. Yeah. Where is Erich von Manstein, Erwin Rommel. Of course, each and every one of them has some special abilities. By the way, you start the game with some of those generals under your command. Friedrich von Paulus, as you know, he lost his army in Stalingrad. Albert Kesselring, he was responsible for Luftwaffe. Yeah, all those generals which were part of the German high command are here. Some of them are pretty obscure, some of them are, of course, famous. 1943 would be the latest when they join, yeah. So this is key component of a game. You will be using those generals for the combat, but also some of them might be dismissed, and some of them might, their loyalty can be put in question. But also later on, your victory points will also depend on whether you have the generals aligned to your faction within your group. Because as I said, this secret agenda is a key thing of this game. Okay, so these are the political directives. These are production directives. These are the combat cards. These are the combat events. Okay. We'll look into them in a moment. As you can see, the game comes with a lot of beautiful, high quality components. I really like them. It's a lot of unbugging. So we have more production directives. Let me put them here. More political ones. Hidden agenda. And then the cards. Okay, so let me start with this. This hidden agenda, as I told you, will be handed to your hand only in 1942 when the reorganization of Wehrmacht happened. And you can see what victory points you will get at the end of the game. Dissidents, sympathizers, professionals, old guard. OKW is the only one which is not secret. It means that you are head of the army, and this is official. So in essence, you have 5 of them. One guy will get this, and 3 out of those will get the rest of the guys. So there will be always one which is not playing, and this would also be interesting here to see it. Those roles are at the beginning of the game, and then they are assigned to the particular players, head of production, personnel, operations, OKW, and they have some specific roles to play. Now, those agenda cards will be available during particular segments of a game. For example, in 1939, you will have several of them. And if I remember, one of the roles will have possibility to choose it. The new ones, of course, arrive with time. So this is the production. Another thing is political. So, for example, with whom you would like to be in alliance. The Wehrmacht purged the Nazi-Soviet Pact, the appeasement, occupation of Czechoslovakia, peace pact with Czechoslovakia, pact with Poland, so there are various. Here's diplomacy with Hungary, Italy. It gives some bonuses, so you will have choice to do. Now the combat, you will roll a die, but except rolling the die, it simply says what happens in the Western Front, Soviet Front, and landings in particular year. Some modifications, and as you can see with years, it's more and more modifications towards allies. And you can have also some events during the combat. Of course, some of them only available in particular year, like this will be anti-communist bombing, for example, but there are more of them. Yes. So these are the cards. They will drive the game nicely. Let me put them aside because now I would like to show you the map. One thing I see I still missed are the cards of terrains. Let me get it. Okay. I'm really, guys, looking forward to playing this game. So, okay, let me put it back. So what do we have here? Military directives. Of course, we have not spoken about those yet. Those will be showing whom we will be attacking. Fall-wise, so attack on Poland. Okay, Fall-Gelb. Seal-off, so attack on the UK. So on. We should have Barbarossa here somewhere. Yeah, Barbarossa 1, Barbarossa 2. It shows also the points which you will get. But this is the military directive for a particular turn or year. And of course, again, one of the 4 roles will choose which you do. And then, yeah, we have strategic events, 39, and with the years, they are growing in numbers. Convoys, Land-Lease, Scorched Earth, all those things, Ultra, which you connect to the war. So even one additional dimension to the game, so strategic events. I told you, this is a very deep game. This is a Kickstarter special, the Twilight Generals expansion pack. That's actually packed not only with generals, we are also getting here some events and stuff like this. So we are getting a Field Marshal. Oh, interesting. Some new generals here and here. So it will spice up the game definitely. Having more of those. Okay, last but not least, let me show you the map. One token is here, so let me put it aside. And this goes here. This goes here. Just a moment, guys. Map was also upgraded from the last version, which I saw, the pre-production version. It's mounted, it's beautiful. It's a bit busy, but you get used to it pretty quickly. So what do we have here? This is the geographical map. Here you see Germany with strategic warfare, with air naval control. Here we have Poland. Here we have Hungary, Yugoslavia. Here we have the East. Here we have the West, for example. Southern France, Belgium, Holland, Northern France, Great Britain. Here we'll have something which will help us with the game. So sequence of play, administrative phase, operations phase. Here are all the important tracks for the German economy and directive operations, project track, fanatism and unrest tracks. What force pool do we have? Maximum of satellite armies. Also here, USSR commitment track going to war, US commitment track going to war too. Here is the year track. Here are the seasons. So you have 1939, and then you start with fall, if I remember. Yeah, then you jump 1940, go through all those steps. I will not be explaining in details each and every area. I told you these are 3 sectors within one area, so you need to conquer Krakow and Warsaw to conquer Poland. The Germans start already here, you can see the symbol. Also here, and they always move, outside. The Allies will be always moving towards Germany. And yeah, at the beginning of the game, you would have here those German control markers, and here will be the blue control markers of the Western Allies, and there will be also red ones later on of the Eastern of Russia. Okay, guys, I tried this material to be as concise as possible. This game is huge. This game is simply huge, both in the number of components, how beautiful they are, how well produced they are, in the number of scenarios and possibilities of play, solitary, cooperative, competitive. We have, full campaign, smaller scenarios. I really would like to get more into this game and see how it plays. I have only, solo play examples, but the true beauty of this game lays when you play with 4 players and when this time starts, when things are not going well for Germany and the secret agenda starts. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much for being with me. If you like this material, please give thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content like this, do not hesitate to subscribe. That's all for today, which I have. I will come back with more materials, example of plays, playthrough and so on. So stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for being with me today.